2.
Okay, we're going to take a little bit of time here to kind of look at the structure of our sky and what it looks like when we're moving through it and how it works. This is what biblically is what we call the Mazareth. This is the constellations, or the main constellations as they are seen in the sky. We're looking at the sun from a polar view. Here's our sun, here's our earth, okay? We're looking at it from the top, so it's kind of like you're looking from the top down. We're talking about our movement as it comes across this area. As we come across this way, our movement goes this way through the constellations. This position right here is the position of the Earth on 3/20, the spring equinox, or the first day of spring. In the morning time, we see the sun rise in the constellation of Pisces. As the sun is rising in the constellation of Pisces, Virgo is sitting or setting in the west. It's flipped around in the fall. In the fall, we end up over here. We're looking this way. Okay? The sun will rise in the constellation of Virgo, and when it's rising in the east in the constellation of Virgo, Pisces is sitting, setting in the west. Our Earth orientation is in this direction, where we do from the top, looking down from the pole, a counterclockwise rotation. We're coming across, moving through the constellations in a counterclockwise orientation. What is interesting about this is that on 3/20, which is the first day of spring, in the constellation of Pisces, the sun rises in Pisces. While the sun is rising in Pisces in the east, the sun, or not the sun, but the constellation Virgo, is setting in the west. In the morning time, while this is rising and this is setting, this constellation is seen directly above. This is the constellation Sagittarius. This constellation is at its lowest point in the southern hemisphere and is seen in the southern hemisphere at its lowest point. Now, of course, things turned around when you go down to the southern hemisphere. Okay? This constellation right here represents the position that the sun rises in the east on 12/21. This is what we call the winter solstice. This constellation right here is the constellation Gemini. Okay? It represents the position that the sun is in on the summer solstice of 6/20. Technically speaking, we start here. We start here in Pisces on 3/20, and we move this way. We come into Gemini on 6/20 we come into Gemini. Then we keep coming this way, and then the sun comes into Virgo. We go through this way, and the sun comes into Sagittarius, ends out on 12/21. What is fascinating about this is in the ancient world, this configuration right here, when it was seen either on the fall equinox or the spring equinox, this is what was called in the ancient world the four corners of the earth. That phrase or that statement is found in Revelation chapter 7, verse 1, where he says that he beheld four angels standing on the four corners of the earth holding the four winds. He's literally talking about either the spring or the fall equinox when he sees angels standing at each one of these points withholding the four corners of the earth. Something for us to think about. Thank you.